and it just opens up right here. You know, what's going on? This is the void. That's Alioth. Where his lunch come on. And there he goes right there. Now, Alioth is this character right here. A force called Elliot the Usurper. And I kind of think of him off the top of my head or the way it's been described, because I'm not going to front, guys. Today was the first time I've heard about this character. Kind of remind me of Galactus. I was always going around eating up worlds and stuff like that. You know, but here he is right here, a big, powerful purple cloud. And apparently, I was going to call him Thanos, but that's not him. That's Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror is afraid of him. And we can get to that a little bit later. But OneTakeBigDog, I'm coming to you first, man. How are you feeling about this opening so far? You know, with this being revealed that this is the void and, you know, Alioth and you know, all that stuff. How you feeling?
Well, considering the fact I didn't know what the void was, I was just kind of like, okay, I got to get more information on that. Them grabbing him like, let's go, that makes sense because, but here's my only thing about Elliot, and it's not, and I understand. I think after the episode went off, I looked up Elliot as well just to see how it looked. Because I know there's sometimes where like a comic character, for example, Galactus in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. We saw how he looked in there. It was just like a big cloud. So I'm like, I wanted this to have like an actual look. And then I look up the comic, and that's the exact image that I saw. But personally, I'm just not a fan of the big clouds because I immediately, like I said, immediately comes to mind is Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, or even Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. That's just kind of like, I wish it was actually something a little more, I don't know, like solid, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But that was, but other than that, it was cool.
I got you. Before I come to you, Elliot, I just want to read this. Alioth is the first being who broke free from the constraints of time. His empire is larger than Kang himself, stretching billions of years to before the rise of man on Earth. His domain is approximately 2 to 3 times as large as Kang's temporal empire. That's crazy. It's because of Alioth that Kang never attempted to expand his empire vertically into more distant time eras, and therefore extends only as far back as 2000 BC. Kang created a barrier preventing Elioth from entering his domain after Kang was left on the brink of death. Ravonna the Terminatrix assumed his identity and took over his empire while investigating errors early in time. She accidentally released Elioth, who then threatened Kang's former domain and all other temporal dominions, further up the time stream. Ravonna and Revelation were able to revive Kang, who provided the Avengers with the Chrono Key to use against Alioth. With all that, and you know, we can go and I can read his powers if y'all want. But Elliot, man, how you feeling about this intro and also the introduction to the Void and Alioth?
Yeah, well, this goes back to me just praising the production of the episode. I mean, from the first shot, you know, coming in with the upside down shot, which to me was just kind of like a metaphor of where we are in the show. Everyone has kind of switched upside down, from Mobius losing his belief system in TVA, Loki believing that he's a hero, Sylvie and Loki working together, the time variance, all that. To me, it was like a great way to just bring us into everyone's world again, being flipped upside down as we go into the elevator with the little hourglass symbols and whatnot. But in regards to this character here, which I think does speak into a little bit of Kang the Conqueror, as you kind of read in the synopsis there of the character, and we know Marvel always like to kind of remix stories from the comic books. They take this and they take that and they kind of make it into their own. So I kind of looked at this Alioth character as, what if Kang the Conqueror was able to figure out a way to control this entity and has it as his guard dog before we go to, you know, obviously the end of this castle reveal here. So I think, and to Big Dog's point, I'm not a big fan, like just a big globe of like whatever the cloud entity was. But again, I think it kind of speaks to just the scope and scale of the episode, having this big entity being able to consume energy and eat energy and all that stuff. But like you said, Brandon, it is comic book accurate. But like I said, Big Dog, I'm not a big fan of that aesthetic, that look of the design. But again, I think it does speak into going back to the Kang the Conqueror comparisons, that what if Kang was able to tame that dog and use it as its guard dog per se. So again, I thought this intro, from the score to that shot opening up the sequence to meeting Loki and the rest of Loki's, was a pretty cool way to open up the show.
Alrighty, and let me go ahead and bring in the third guest of the show. Y'all know him from the east side, the stock market master genius, Mr. Lamont with Life Gains. How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Well, oh Lord, geekgasms all over the place, my fellas. Oh my goodness, I enjoyed the hell out of this episode.
Okay.
Thank you, Lamont. Now we got you on too.
Nice.
Now we got you on too.
Simply because if you are a true to the source, true to the lure of comics, just the Easter eggs alone is a video hunting apparatus. You can make pure videos about episode 5 on all the Easter eggs. They sprinkled all up in there. So I'm ready to do this. I'm excited.
Well, let's catch you up real quick, dude. Let's catch you up. We were just talking about how the episode starting off, everything flips upside down. You got this gold elevator that leads to nothing but lies and deceit. This is the void. That's Alioth. But who is Alioth? Well, is this cat right here? You know what I'm saying? And we were saying it kind of reminded me of Galactus a little bit, just going around, you know, eating up worlds and energy and matter and stuff like that. But here's a dude right here and talking about he's so badass that Kang the Conqueror is afraid of him. You know what I'm saying? And so I know you got some stuff to say. I just kind of read a little brief synopsis, little description, breakdown of the character. But I'm passing it to you. You said you liked the episode. That's great. So did Elliot. But how are you feeling about the void, the intro of this episode, and them introducing us to Elioth?
You're talking about Alioth, the spirit. Alioth. I'm feeling great about it. I mean, the whole flipping upside down metaphor that Marvel has been doing since phase 1 is just Marvel. It's classic Marvel. It's what they do. And that is to let you know that things are turned on their head. And right now, things are turned on their head because Loki has been thrown to the void. Sylvie is getting ready to get into a battle with Ravonna Put It On You. And Ravonna Put It On You is still lying to Sylvie. The reveal of the void, I felt, was a good parallel because we all felt something when Mobius died. I mean, we was all emotionally attached to that character. I know I was. And when he died, you thought he was really gone until we saw what happened last week. And so I was very interested to see how would they continue the continuity from last episode when Loki in the post-credit wound up here with all these crazy-ass Lokis. And these Lokis was great. And so I really enjoyed the void scene. And the thing about Alioth, B. Avery, you did some great reading and research. He was the one thing that Kang the Conqueror was afraid of because he was all consuming of time, matter, energy, dark matter. Anything he could get in front of, he would destroy it. It got so bad that in the comics, the Avengers had to fight him and they had to get Kang to help them. And they basically had to put him in a stalemate with a Celestial. So, like I said, if you are a comic person, all these sprinkles of Easter eggs and what has happened in the other comics into these type of stories just gives you more fuel for the fodder of enjoying Marvel.
Right on. Let me just go ahead and look at his powers real quick. Is Elioth, or I feel like I keep saying it wrong?
Alioth
is a trans-temporal entity existing across divergent timelines as an enormous cloud destroying all it touches, causing massive temporal disturbance and devastation across entire dimensions. It can extend pseudopodia to attack forceful beings or locations and grow in size and mass by absorbing the bodies of time travelers into its mass. Once it occupies a time period, it spreads out to engulf the adjacent realities. Elioth also negates temporal energy, preventing travel through its time before it exists. Attempts to travel, Elioth usually results in absorption into its mass. I know I'm still saying it wrong, but I can't wait to see more of him. Now, I will go ahead. I have to say this now. As badass as he is, man, I was kind of let down that Sylvie and Loki were able to. Actually, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that point.